Okay, morning. So we're starting a external staircase today. As you can see, we've already started on one string. It's an external staircase, so it's got a semi-closed riser. Basically here, so the gap between the tread and the bottom of the riser is open. So you don't want it enclosed with an external staircase. So that at the moment is the first string routed out from the treads and the risers. We have the treads and risers already. You can see that we've rounded the edges. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is obviously it takes a sharp edge off, it doesn't get split off when we're using it. And then where we're routing out the slot for it to sit in, it then just sits in those slots like that. The setting out is quite simple. You take the overall rise, which is what we class as finished floor to finished floor. So for example, if you're going from the ground floor to first floor, it's from the top of the floor on the ground floor to the top of the floor on the first floor. That then gives you, divide that by, on this one it's got 12 rises. So that gives you, and then the going is just is the maximum going, and again you divide that by the amount of treads you've got. So it's quite simple because it is a closed rised staircase and there's no wedges. The tread fits straight into the string without any need for wedges, because obviously you're going to see it. Again, it's quite a simple jig that's been made with a back support. Goes up and down the back of the string. On the string, I've already marked out my riser and my tread, or my rise and my going. So that's the top of the tread, and that's the front of the tread, and then it carries on. That is all done very simply with a roofing square like this. So that's obviously my rise from the back of the string to the front of my nosing, and then from the top of my and that gives me a rise from the top of my tread down to the riser, and that basically sits with these little dogs on the back. You just slide it up, you mark it, and then you mark out the next one. So go that one backwards. That's done the other string. So this is so that sits on your tread, and then that sits on your riser line, and then you just continue that all the way down and marking it out. That then gives you a position to route your slot out to, which is where this template comes in handy. So the top of the tread template that lines up with your line. That is then clamped on in place. So you work off the back of the string, or the underside of the string. That gets clamped into place. And because it's a Roco, well, any dust you should wear a mask with, to be fair. But a Roco is a very toxic dust. So anything we do, anything in a Roco, you need to make sure you're wearing a decent mask. So that's lined up with the jig. We use basically a very simple router with a copy route piece, and that follows round the jig. Just gives us a cutout. Unfortunately, my bigger router decided to not work this morning, so I've gone back to the small router. We just have to do it in multiple passes. As I said, because like I said, with anything like this, you need to wear a mask, but especially with Barocco. Barocco is very toxic. Okay, so that's now routed out. You see I had a airline there, just cleaning out the debris as I went, just so there's obviously no, it's followed the copy route completely. We've only go in about ½ an inch, 12mm, to locate it, and then we do a test. Fit. That sits in there really nicely. Very minor tolerance, and then we've got the riser. That sits in there. Again, very nicely. that's now fitted in there. Nice fit. Obviously this still needs sanding and bits and pieces, but that's the first one done. Just another 12 to route out on this string, and then yeah, we can then start looking at cutting all the treads and risers to length, getting them all glued up and sanded up, and then we can start putting tenons and stuff on the end of the strings for yawl posts, etc., and then build the landing. So yeah, we'll keep on the update on the progress.